I'm Kashif Naqvi. I am Group Head Digital Technology and Strategic Planning. We are a typical life insurance company where a lot of processes are manual. There's a lot of data entry involved, and for those, there are a lot of human users. What we are trying to do is that optimize these processes so that we can bring in efficiency. And obviously, when efficiency comes in, we need to improve the productivity of our current employees. By no means we want to cut down our headcount, but we want to enhance the skill set of our current employees and increase the productivity also. So we are looking at processes which are repetitive and very time consuming and do not actually add value in terms of professional growth of employees. We have a sales force of about 8,500 salespersons. And obviously we have multiple distribution channels. And in the sales, there are a lot of transfers from one channel to other channel or from one sales branch to another sales branch. The volume of such changes coming in on daily basis is pretty high. It is a two-pronged approach. The first part was removing the paper, which we did ourselves. And then we used the robotic process automation to key in this data into the core ERP. These portals are on Microsoft SharePoint. The database is SQL Server, and our core ERP is an Oracle database and Oracle forms using WebLogic. So it's basically your RPA is sitting between Microsoft and Oracle. In any case, this would take about 24 hours. The first thing which I explained that we did on SharePoint, that became an instantaneous thing that a manager sitting in another city would fill out the online form on the portal. That would land in the bucket of the operations department right at the same very instant. And then the second phase, which was taking about 4 to 5 minutes to key in all that data, was handled to Oracle RPA. I think one case takes a second or something. What we have done is it's not handled one case at a time. Let's say there are 25 odd cases which need to be entered into the core ERP. So these 25 cases are handled through a single process, which again takes about 2 to 3 minutes, Zubair.
The actual key in process take 4 minutes in one system, and at the demo through the Aura player, we did 16 cases in 90 seconds.
Based on the fact that Aura Web Player was providing the same robot for 300 flows, this was actually the key difference between Aura Player and the other ones, which made us decide to go ahead with Aura Player. The other robots were dedicated for one process.
The other RPAs are purely user mimics. They do the same thing as the user do. They click on something, they add the values, they click on some other things. But the things what Aura Player do is they actually get everything first and then do everything at the back end. Because of that, the application slowness, Java slowness of Oracle forms, hanging issues are not there. Because when you load something on Java application, it requires 20 to 30 seconds to load the overall thing. But and if you are doing the same with the other RPA, they're gonna wait for the loading thing, and then they will perform the everything. The actual flow development in Aura Player was basically a drag and drop of creation of the flows, and with very few inputs in the fields instead of programming. But the other tools require full development. and there was the user interactions of the RPA flow is very different. You can just develop a flow by just drag and drop, adding some services, recording some services, and just creating a flow as a flow chart, and then you can just play it, and it's start gonna work. But unlike other RPAs, you need to define the full scope, and then a developer can basically program the full scope, and then their RPA can work. But the main difference here is, as we were doing when we were creating RPA, was the URL of the application was changed. If the URL of the application was changed, other RPA requires to change their programmings. But in Aura Player, you can just use it as a variable. You can just write it somewhere else, and then it will take the values from that thing, and then it is going to work in the same way. This will basically help us the movement from production UAT to live. We just need to change the application URLs, and the Aura Player will start working on the production machine instead of the UAT machines. It basically depends upon the user canvas, but Aura Player work at the back end, so that's no problem for Aura Player, and the problem for the new RPAs which works.
Courtesy Aura Player.